Kevin Costner's divorce shocked Hollywood. But the court filings, financial battles, and behind-the-scenes tension tell a much darker story. From the early cracks in 2004 to the Yellowstone years that pushed their marriage to a breaking point, this video uncovers the real timeline behind Christine Baumgartner's decision and the awful truth she finally confirmed. We break down the legal war over the $145 mansion, the $248 Kelvin's child support request, the new boyfriend rumors, and the insider reports that reshape the public narrative. This is not gossip. This is the documented fall of a marriage built under the weight of fame, distance, and a legacy too big for two people to carry. On September 25, 2004, in Aspen, Colorado, Kevin Costner, 49, fresh off decades of Hollywood dominance, married Christine Baumgartner, censure, a model turned handbag designer. People magazine framed it as the start of Costner's calm chapter, but the calm lasted exactly 1 week. By early October, Kevin was already off the grid, jumping into the final promo cycle for Open Range and early prep for his next directing projects. That was the first crack in a marriage the public believed was picture perfect. From 2007 to 2010, Christine delivered 3 children: Caden 2007, Hayes 2009, and Grace 2010, while Kevin spent months away shooting The Guardian, Swing Vote, The New Daughter, and later Hatfields and McCoys. Between South Dakota, New Mexico, and Montana, he was home in fragments. Never seasons. Us Weekly rumor labeled 2011 reported that Christine ran the entire household alone while Kevin kept chasing projects, and insiders described him as barely present except between shoots. Their 2004 prenuptial agreement protected Kevin's premarital assets and outlined support for future children, but made no guarantees about parental presence, availability, or lifestyle commitments. Christine had no legal leverage to request reduced work schedules or shared household management. In practice, Kevin's career dictated everything. In 2008, The Guardian wrote Costner is still chasing the frontier myth, hinting that Kevin's obsession with legacy outweighed domestic life. Archived IMDb forum threads from 2009-2010 speculation labeled show fans noticing Christine seemed overwhelmed at events where Kevin appeared solo or rushed in from set. By 2010, before Yellowstone, before the divorce headlines, before the financial battles, the key pattern was already fixed. Kevin moved, Christine absorbed, and that unspoken equation would become the fault line that eventually split the marriage open. In June 2018, Kevin Costner disappeared into Montana for the first full production block of Yellowstone, a 4 to 6 month grind that instantly rewired the Costner household. Paramount Network executives publicly celebrated their new flagship series. But inside Santa Barbara, Christine Baumgartner was suddenly raising 3 children alone, while Kevin lived on location, almost year-round. What began as a prestige TV commitment quickly became the second fracture in their marriage. Filming wasn't casual. According to production schedules filed with Montana's Department of Commerce public record, Yellowstone operated in long, isolated cycles: summer shoots in Darby, fall pickups in Missoula, winter ADR sessions in L.A., then immediate prep for the next season. Between 2018 and 2022, Kevin spent more time on set than at home, sometimes returning to California for only a few days between episodes. By Season 2's breakout in 2019, Entertainment Weekly called Kevin the backbone of Taylor Sheridan's empire. While Hollywood Reporter noted that the show's success demanded a classic Western work ethic, the praise came with a hidden cost. Kevin's physical absence became permanent. In late 2020, Us Weekly ran a rumor-labeled piece claiming Christine struggled with the long absences and felt like a single parent while Kevin was building a TV phenomenon. Fan speculation on Reddit's r/divided by Yellowstone TV threads 2020-2021 echoed the same sentiment. Christine looks like she's doing everything solo. These weren't wild conspiracy theories, just observations from people seeing Kevin everywhere except home. By 2021, Yellowstone's ratings exploded, beating The Walking Dead, dominating Sunday nights, and turning Kevin into a TV titan at 66. Paramount doubled down, shooting windows that swallowed entire seasons of family life. Behind the scenes, Sheridan pushed production harder, and Kevin leaned in. His mission: core legacy, scale, frontier storytelling overrode everything else. Even when Christine quietly wanted stability, the rumors sharpened. In 2022, the year before the divorce, People published a speculation-labeled line citing a family source who said Christine was unhappy with how much Kevin was away. And Page 6 hinted that she missed the version of him who wasn't consumed by Yellowstone deadlines. These weren't official statements, just smoke that matched the fire everyone saw burning. By the end of 2022, the pattern was undeniable. Kevin wasn't choosing Yellowstone over Christine. He was choosing Yellowstone over everything, and without either of them acknowledging it publicly, the distance had already stopped being distance. It had become a wall. On May 2, 2023, at 3:55 p.m. Pacific Time, the Santa Barbara County Court clerk stamped the petition that detonated across Hollywood. Christine Baumgartner filed for divorce from Kevin Costner after 18 years of marriage. Within hours, Page 6 blasted the headline, "Costner stunned by surprise divorce filing." And for the first time, the private imbalance inside the Costner household became a public rupture. Christine cited irreconcilable differences, requested joint custody of the 3 children, and invoked the 2004 prenuptial agreement as the framework for asset division. Kevin's legal team responded the next morning with a filing that reaffirmed the prenup and included one line that shaped the next 90 days of media frenzy. There was no cheating. That single sentence triggered a wave of tabloids to revive years-old whispers, all rumor, divided by speculation, labeled linking Kevin to various on-set friendships during Yellowstone production. None were proven, but the headlines moved faster than the facts. People emphasized Costner blindsided by Christine's sudden decision, while TMZ ran a rumor-labeled segment suggesting tension had been building for months during Kevin's long absences in Montana. Entertainment Tonight added that sources close to production said Kevin had expressed frustration with Taylor Sheridan's expanding Yellowstone schedule, another pressure point for the family. Meanwhile, the filings showed what the headlines didn't. Kevin was entirely off guard. Court records confirm Christine filed without a prior public separation. And legal insiders, quoted anonymously in Daily Mail, rumor-labeled, said Kevin found out only shortly before it became official. Whether perfectly accurate or exaggerated for clicks, the perception hardened. Christine made a move Kevin neither expected nor controlled. Fan speculation filled the gaps. Reddit threads in r/divided by entertainment and r/divided by Yellowstone TV erupted with theories, some pointing to Kevin's workload, others hinting at long-term marital strain. Most of the speculation circled around the same idea: the Yellowstone schedule didn't just stress the marriage, it quietly hollowed it out. By mid-May, the narrative was set. Christine acted, Kevin reacted, and the shock wasn't just Hollywood spin, it was documented in the filings themselves. The divorce wasn't the beginning of their collapse. It was simply the moment the world finally saw it. En June 14, 2023, Kevin Costner's lawyers filed an emergency request in Santa Barbara Superior Court, demanding that Christine Baumgartner vacate the $145 million beachfront estate in Carpinteria, the same house the couple once described as the family anchor. What followed wasn't a domestic dispute. It was a public standoff, documented line by line in court filings and magnified by every tabloid in the country. The prenup was clear. Christine had 30 days to leave the property after filing for divorce on May 2, but by mid-June, she was still living inside the mansion. According to court documents filed by Kevin's team and published by ABC News, Kevin argued he needed access to the house for repairs, maintenance, and to stabilize the children's schedules. Christine refused to move. Her lawyers countered that there was no suitable alternative residence for her and the kids, yet this wasn't a quiet negotiation. It was a legal siege. June 29, 2023 courtroom escalation. Kevin submitted sworn declarations stating Christine had taken luxury items and certain personal property beyond what the prenup allowed. Christine's team fired back, arguing Kevin was trying to strong-arm her out of the home before financial arrangements were finalized. TMZ ran the headline that morning. Costner says, "Estranged wife won't leave house. She says he's pushing her out." 2 days later, tabloids detonated the rumor that poured gasoline on the fire. E! News published a rumor divided by speculation labeled report, claiming Christine's rumored new boyfriend, Josh Connor, a financier and former acquaintance of Kevin, had given her $20,000 to help with moving expenses. No court document confirmed it, but the headline took off instantly, shifting public sympathy and injecting the first betrayal narrative into the story. Inside the house, the logistics turned humiliating. According to filings cited by People, Kevin claimed Christine restricted access to parts of the property and brought in a team to remove items he considered marital assets. Christine's side argued she was simply packing, documenting, and protecting her belongings under prenup rules. Even the children's sleeping arrangements became part of the legal discussion, an unprecedented level of domestic detail leaking into public view. July 5, 2023. The judge rules Christine is ordered to vacate the home by the end of the month. Court transcripts show the judge rejecting her request for more time and denying additional compensation tied to housing. The ruling effectively ended the standoff but left a trail of headlines framing Christine as digging in and Kevin as trying to regain control of his own property. Media framing hardened instantly. Daily Mail called it the battle for the Costner mansion. Page 6 labeled it Hollywood's most expensive eviction. Fan forums split, some accusing Christine of dragging her feet, others saying Kevin weaponized the prenup. But underneath the noise, one truth was unavoidable. The house was never the real fight. It was the symbol of everything that had been breaking for years, and by the time Christine stepped out of the Carpinteria gates for the final time in late July, the marriage wasn't just over, the war had officially begun. On August 31, 2023, inside a packed Santa Barbara courtroom, Christine Baumgartner's legal team made the most explosive request of the entire divorce, $248,000 per month in child support for their 3 children. The number stunned the judge, the press, and even veteran court reporters. Within minutes, TMZ pushed the headline, "Christine demands $248 Kelvin's Costner calls it outrageous." This hearing became the breaking point, the moment the private collapse of their marriage turned into a national spectacle. The filings were clinical and brutal. Christine's declaration argued the children had become accustomed to a luxury lifestyle that required maintaining private staff, tutors, and multiple properties. Kevin's team countered with a forensic accountant who testified that the requested amount far exceeded the children's needs and was tied more to adult lifestyle than child expenses. That testimony landed hard, and the courtroom energy shifted. September 1, 2023. The ruling drops. Judge Thomas Anderley slashed Christine's request from $248,000 to approximately $63,000 per month, a number documented in the official order and immediately blasted across People, AP, and CNN Entertainment. Reporters noted the judge's wording: child support is not intended to preserve the parent's standard of living after separation. Christine's reaction became a flashpoint. Court transcripts show she argued that the reduced amount would negatively impact the children's lifestyle, travel, schooling, and housing, all of which had been built around Kevin's wealth. Kevin's team maintained that the ruling was fair and consistent with the prenup. Media framing split instantly. Page 6 emphasized the dramatic drop from Christine's original demand. Daily Mail highlighted Christine's tearful courtroom moments. Law-focused outlets like Law and Crime called it one of the most aggressive child support battles of the year. Then came the rumor that reignited the betrayal narrative. In February 2025, Cosmopolitan published a rumor divided by speculation labeled feature, claiming that several of Kevin's longtime friends were boycotting Christine's upcoming wedding in Hawaii to financier Josh Connor, a man tabloids described as a previous acquaintance of Kevin. Không có tài liệu pháp lý xác nhận. Nhưng narrative này lan quá nhanh, friendship turned sour. Loyalty lines drawn. Alliances collapsing. It fed directly into the public perception that the divorce exposed fractures no one had seen coming. Behind the noise, the filings told the real story. On September 19, 2023, the divorce settlement was finalized. Christine received child support at the reduced rate, and both sides agreed to avoid future litigation. No alimony, no mansion, no continuation of the lifestyle she'd built around Kevin's earnings. This was the moment the awful truth of the marriage came into full view. Kevin's legacy-driven life was never built to coexist with the domestic world Christine needed. And once Yellowstone, Horizon, and his expanding empire consumed him, there was nothing left for her to hold on to. The marriage didn't simply end in court. It ended when the judge's gavel made clear what their lives had silently revealed for years. His work always came first, and the cost of that was finally paid in public.